guess it'd help if I had some audio, wouldn't it? All right, nothing heard. Do we have any announcements tonight?
This is K4 ZDR.
K4 ZDR. Mr. Dale, how you doing this evening?
Just doing great. Doing great. Just want to remind everybody to get newsletter articles in to Mr. Bill. He does a fantastic job on the newsletter. But of course, he's always looking for newsletters to go in there to make it exciting. If you got a picture of your shack that you haven't sent in yet, send him that. Got a little article about how you started getting into ham radio, why you got into ham radio, or a picture of your antenna system, just anything you think others might be interested in reading about or looking at. Please send them to him. And that's K4BX at gmail.com. I think that's right. It's in the on the website. I think that's the correct email. K4BX at gmail.com. And but I know he appreciates all the articles he gets. It sure helps him fill his newsletter up with the things that they're not just he has to pick up throughout the
Good
internet.
evening, Lou.
More
Good
about
to have you in here tonight.
homegrown people and what we have here local. That's what most people are interested in. So I hope everybody can do that. Also, don't forget I'm trying to get the newsletter. Not newsletter. I'm trying to get the roster completed. So if you have not sent in your dues, please get that done, and we'll try to get a roster, updated roster out, maybe by the first of the month anyway. And don't forget Field Day. Of course, Field Day coming up. Well, that's right. Blink your eyes. It'll be here now, so everybody keep interested in that. That'll be a lot of fun, and hope everybody can go out and they can make it out. If not, remember, operate from your home. And when you fill out your paperwork, put affiliated with the Maury Amateur Radio Club, and that will also give credit. The numbers will be credited in ARRL listing as belong to the Maury Amateur Radio Club. It gives a higher listing for them. Justin, I'll shut up now and let you have it back. Man, doing a great job, buddy. Keep it up. K4ZDR.
All right, Dale. That's no problem, my friend. Yeah, we're less than 2 weeks away right now, so like you said, it'll be here in the blink of an eye. Looking forward to it. All right, do we have any more announcements for tonight? All right, nothing heard. We'll go ahead and start taking our regular check-ins for the Maury Amateur Radio Club Newbie Net. This is net control station K4LEN. Check-ins, call now.
K4PKA, Rick.
QV, Josh.
WD4NCO, Art. See you. K4ZDR, Dale.
N4KN, Thurman.
K4PKA, Rick.
All right, we'll go with what we got there. Had a few of you. Dale, Rick, Art, and Josh and Rick actually doubled, and Rick won. Josh, I did not catch your call sign, but we got Thurman in there too. We'll go ahead and start at the top of the list, take a comment, and kind of get started tonight. Dale, good evening to you, sir.
Hey, thanks again. It's K4ZDR. I heard Mike check in, TOW. Heard him check in while you was giving out the last announcement there. Don't have anything. It has been a beautiful day. getting a little warm. Today was real nice.
How's it
Getting a
going,
little warm.
Todd?
Oh, got up in the 90s, I think, yesterday. It actually put the air on the first time I've been trying to make it. I'm cheap. I'm trying to keep my bill down. But we had to kick it on. It finally got to us like the roasted us out, so we kicked it on. But anyway, everybody looking forward to field day. I know it's been talked about several times. But if you've never gone to field day, you'll really enjoy it. Don't miss it. You need to go out there and check it out. Even if you get to go just a short period of time, just go out and check it out and see what it's about. Go out there, and if you go out and stay hours at a time and spend all night, man, that's fantastic. But go spend what time you can. Be with others and join in. It's just a good place for fellowship. Get to know other people that maybe you get to talk to them there, but you don't ever get to see. And also it's time to look at all different kind of equipment and modes they run and antenna systems and stuff like that. So it's always a blast. Turn it back to you, KA4ZDR.
All right, Dale. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Ready for it. Told a buddy of mine, last year I had a lot of fun the time I got to spin out there, and told my buddy the other day, I said, this year and it'll either make me or it'll break me. I'm looking forward to it so much. I can't wait. Plan on being there pretty much the whole time, so that I'll either continue on year after year, or this year burn me out. I'm gonna figure it out though, but I'm really looking forward to it. Dale, I got a question, and I may have misunderstood you. Did you make name tags last year sometime?
No, I have not. I've been falling down on that. Gerald always made the name tags. I did the actual pictures that went on them, but Gerald always did the laminate. So I was talking to somebody over the weekend about that. We do need to get a list of people that needs them, and I need to somehow get somebody to start helping me out and get them laminated. I can do most everything. I can do the computer stuff and get the pictures, but I have a hard time laminating with the conditions and stuff. But we will get that out there somehow. But I need to gather up a list of people that need the badges. Justin, I'm sorry. I've really let everybody down on the badge part.
Oh, that's no problem. No problem at all. I that's what you was talking about. I guess whenever I joined the club last year, you'd said something about the picture. Now that you said that, it rings a bell. The picture for the name tag. So, all right. Yeah, I was curious about that, and while I was thinking about it, I figured I'd ask. All right. We're gonna move on down. K4PKA. Rick, good evening to you.
Good evening, and I didn't realize I checked in twice. Sorry about that, Justin. But
All right, Todd. Appreciate you stopping by, my friend.
I'll be glad to help you make those name badges. Just let me know what I need to do to help you. And I am looking forward to field day as well, and I plan on being there pretty much all the time as well. So I'll keep you company, Justin. So I'm looking forward to it, to learning about a lot of new information that I don't know. So thank you for all you do.
Good deal. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. WD4NCO Art. Good evening.
Why, good evening. This is WD4NCO. Good evening to you and the net. Such beautiful weather we've had today, and just right. I've been out running around outside, really enjoying it. I thought I would make a comment. If you remember the net we had Thursday night, how Bill run the net, he on simplex frequencies, simulating the repeater being down. And I think that's an important thing to look at, because what if the repeater is down for any length of time or something? Even like say in an emergency or something. we should set up some kind of either a backup system or do something to help out, whether we put people in different parts of the county that be responsible to take traffic or whatever. But anyway, it was a good simulation Bill run. This is WD4NCO, back to Next Control.
Yeah, roger that. I was out of town, down in Florence. Actually on my way home from Florence Sunday evening when he had his net, so I didn't get to get in on it. But last year when we done it, there was just a couple stations that I could just barely hear down here in Lawrenceburg. Got that big Rockdale Hill between me and y'all, and it makes it hard for me. So, which I guess in emergency situations, I guess I'd stick with Lawrenceburg down here more than I would Columbia, but that's still good to be able to relay messages needed to. But yeah, I agree. I think a simplex net is a very good idea, and good practice, very good practice. All right, Josh, I didn't catch your call sign. Can you come back in here?
This is KO4HUV, and yes, name is Josh.
All right, Josh. Come on in here and give us a comment for tonight.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, I had a few questions as far as field day goes. I know what day it's on. What time are you guys setting up and starting?
Okay, the actual official field day goes from 1 o'clock Saturday evening to 1 o'clock Sunday evening. I think, could be wrong about this, but I think in the rules that, I don't remember if it's 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Got to, I think that you have to, the antennas and everything that you're going to set up has to be done that morning, and then I don't think it can be done before 8 or 9 o'clock. I think, I can't remember if it's 8 or 9 o'clock. We're planning on meeting at the park and get started. I think it's 8. But set up and get ready for it at 8, and then Sunday evening tear down after 1. That helps.
That's a big help. I'm not going to be able to come out and set up, but I do want to see how everybody's doing everything and going about it. I also noticed, I was checking in on the parks on the Arapota and noticed that you were into that as well. Seeing that you got to sign up for it. How hard is it to sign up? Does it cost anything, or what's the deal with that?
Oh no, it's all free. You just go to parksontheair.com, and you can, let me see. Let me go to this. I think you go to the just sign up or whatever. But everything's free, and it's a lot of fun.
Copy that. Yeah, I've been making a lot of contacts on HF with the POTA and different places, so it got me interested in it, and I've actually come up with some ideas for antenna placement and all that stuff, so I'm really looking into getting into that as soon as I can get some batteries and stuff up and running. But that's about all the questions I've had for everybody on this. I was just wanting to know about the field day and that, but I'm planning on being down there field day. It is at Maury County Park as far as I remember. So should be there. I guess if y'all are sitting up around 1, probably be there sometime a little after around 2 maybe.
Okay, roger that. Well, we look forward to having you out there. Forward to having a lot of fun. All right, N4 KN Thurman. Good evening.
Good evening to everybody. Yeah, I think they usually get there about 8 o'clock in the morning, start stretching out antennas and wires and cables and whatever, and start throwing it up. Everybody tries to have everything completely all set up and tested. They start, as soon as they get everything done, get everything tested up, you know, and just be sitting there about 12:30 or so, kind of waiting until, you know, the 1 o'clock hits. And then you'll be able to tell, because the radio, you'll hear people on there, then all of a sudden it'll just go completely unglued there. You'll hear everything on the planet right quick, depending on the band what you're on. Kind of modify whatever time of the day it is. You know, at 1 o'clock, you know, most people they'll start checking 10 meters and 15 and 20 and then 40, and then later on 40 goes long, and then, you know, so you'll see. It's a lot of fun, and I've never missed one since I've been licensed. So, yeah, I got there at 7:30, 8 o'clock one morning, and not leave till 3 or 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Spend an hour or two at night napping in the car.
Yeah, roger that. Get ready for a long day. Which I think that we're gonna try to set it up where, you know, have operators in and out. Way, you know, try to alleviate the pressure on, you know, one person per station. You know, where we rotate in and out, and not be having to sit there on a radio the whole time or whatever. But yeah, it's think as long as we get a good turnout, I think that's the game plan anyway.
Yeah, well, like I said, there's always going to be somebody standing around waiting to operate, or just wanting to, or just watching and looking and listening. And somebody gets up, somebody will plop down right there, right in behind it. It's just one of those things that people will run it, you know, till about 12:30, you know, 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. Then the people thin out a little bit, but still, there's plenty to, you know, it's there if you want to play radio. That's all there is to it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, roger that. All right, N4 TOW. Mike, good evening.
Good evening there, Justin. Good evening to the net. And I'm glad I chimed in there. You got to stand by. I got a phone call coming.
All right, that's no problem. It's K4LEN, that control station for the Maury Amateur Radio Club Newbie Net. Do we have any more check-ins tonight?
Or BBB.
KO4 DNR.
All right, N4 BBB. Scott, good evening to you, sir.
K4LEN and the group, this N4 BBB. Good evening, Justin. Hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, recommend everybody, particularly if you don't have a whole lot of exposure to net operations or HF operations, that everybody try and get by the field day. Personally, in Rutherford County, back when I was EC, we probably sponsored about 15 or 20 field days, and we'd go up on top of Tiger Hill and string some antennas from the fire tower, and set up tents and stuff, and my wife and the kids and I would all camp out up there on the hill. And it's a good occasion. It gets pretty interesting late at night. You start hearing stuff coming in from a long, long way away. And it's a good time to get yourself familiar with basic QSO operations on HF and also on CW. I plan personally on running a CW station myself. But it's a good time for everybody. What was being talked about a little bit earlier, just so everybody knows, in the event of an emergency, when repeaters aren't available, you automatically should go to the simplex channels. Everybody should have 146.52 programmed into their radios. I think the simplex channel on 220 is 223 or 224.0. On 440, it's 446.0. And be familiar with those things. There's some secondary channels like 146.46 and 146.58. But 52 is the simplex, the national calling frequency. So I recommend everybody have that programmed in. You wouldn't believe what you'll hear there from time to time. And even if you can't get to it easily, if you have no other stations close by you can work, if there's an emergency and you put yourself on 146.52, you'll guarantee to hear stuff. Also, another good thing to do is have stuff like the local sheriff's office frequencies and the THP frequencies programmed into your radios as well. The little cheap Chinese radios have gotten so prolific. I think I've got 10 or 11 of them. I have them in every car. I have them in every computer bag, every briefcase. Everything I've got one of those radios at my hand somewhere. And the batteries aren't expensive, so you can always have, it's good for people to have a go bag, an emergency bag just for those type things, where you might have some bottled water, where you might have 2 or 3 HTs, some extra batteries, some extra antennas. You never know when something's going to happen, so it's I timed out. Strongly recommend everybody take a chance to get by the field day and watch and listen and learn. And there's a lot of stuff going on. K4 Elliott in the group in 4 BBB.
Yeah, that's a lot of good information there. Yeah, hopefully, it won't ever come down to that, but it is good practice to know what your station will do. Know how far you can hear and how far you can transmit. So simplex operation is great to get a good idea what you're capable of. All right, KO4DNR. I didn't catch your name, but good evening to you.
Good evening, this is Will, KO4DNR. I just happened to be scanning through and heard the net tonight, so I figured I'd jump in. Hopefully everyone's having a great week, and thanks for letting me join the net. Again, this is Will, KO4DNR.
All right, Will. Well, thanks for being there. Kind of a little net we've got going on. It's been around for a couple months now, so it's not as new, but we try to get a topic of something a newer operator may have a question of, and let some of these Elmers in here give some advice on it. So if you've got any question you may like an answer, be a good time to maybe get an answer and get some reasoning behind it there tonight.
That sounds good. I'm definitely looking forward to field day. It'll be my first field day. So I got licensed in the middle of the pandemic last year. And currently I'm not a general, but I'm studying up. So hopefully I'll be a general soon. But definitely look forward to seeing more of the HF stuff. I feel like I've got a fair handle on VHF and UHF and some of the digital modes. But I think the true simplex across hundreds or thousands of miles is kind of interesting. So looking forward to seeing some stuff in person.
Okay. Where have you decided where you're going to attend field day at?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I'm at the southern end of Williamson County, but close to Columbia. So the only in-person event I went to was a lunch a few months ago on a Sunday, which was this group, and it was a great group. So I may try and sneak over to the park and see what you guys have set up.
Well, we'd love to have you. Love for you to join us. I think the W Cares group up there. Now I could be way wrong on this, but I think that I heard them say that most of everybody up there will be operating from home. I think they're going to have a few radios set up at their EOC, if you will. Uh, but I don't think they're planning on a lot of attendance there, so I could be wrong on that. And I don't know if you are a part of the W Cares group, but like I said, we'd love to have you out there, in there and get you set down and get your feet wet on in the HF bands and go ahead and give you a good nudge in that direction. You'll be ready to get that general pretty quick then.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, I definitely am looking forward to some in-person stuff as we are clearing the pandemic. So I look forward to seeing some of you down there.
Well, good deal. We look forward to seeing you. All right. Anybody else got anything tonight? Or is any extra comments and input on anything?
BBB.
Okay, Scott.
I just recommend everybody get as much exposure as they can to the HF operations. I mean, VHF is wonderful. It's great to have a handy talkie in your backpack or in your computer bag. I'm always carrying a computer wherever I go because that's been my living for most of my life. But seriously, there is no other way for you to get a signal across without a repeater system like we have at MTIRS or some of those things. There is really no other way for you to get a signal outside of your local area except with HF. And you can have the crummiest, clunkiest old HF rig, tube type, you name it, as long as you got electricity for it. And a lot of them run on 12 volts now. But you can throw a wire over a tree limb and you can talk all over the world, if not all over the country, easily on 40 meters or 80 meters or 20 meters. So it's a good thing to do is to get acquainted with that stuff, because that's really the heart and soul of ham radio. And getting exposed to some of that's really the best stuff everybody can do, Justin. Thank you very much for the time. Over.
Yeah, I have to second that one, Scott. Like you said, VHF, UHF, your signal is only going to carry so far. It's trees, earth, distance. The horizon is the biggest limiting factor of VHF and UHF. And get into the HF bands and start the atmosphere of the earth, actually, to get over the horizon. Good way to get an ideal of it is on a sunny day when you have a mirror. When you reflect the sun off your mirror and shine it to a different spot. Basically what some of the HF frequencies are doing in the atmosphere of the earth. So that greatly expands your coverage area when it's like that. So kind of gives you a visual. Somebody who may not know, but like Scott said, it's very, very good tool and the best. As far as communication, you ain't gonna get no better than HF. As far as long distance.
One quick more comment, Justin.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
Just a second. I had to turn off subwoofers and stuff because I was getting into them. No, that's the thing. That's the wonderful thing about HF. I've worked a guy in central Russia. He was running 1 watt. I was running 1 watt, and the only way we could hear each other was just a difference in the background noise. And that was on CW. So when you had a signal, the noise decreased a little bit, and when you unkeyed, the noise increased. So that was the way we were copying each other. But when everything is said and done, it's amazing what you can do with a watt or two of signal. You can hear, listen once a month. They have, I think, the hospital net, and people talk all over the south central United States on different hospital radios and systems, and it is truly astonishing what you can do. And that really is the heart and soul of ham radio. That's why they call it the American Radio Relay League. Back in the 19-teens and 20s, to get across the country, it took 5 relays to send a message from the East Coast to the West Coast. So they incorporated it as a relay league. Of course, now we can talk coast to coast almost any time of day on HF. But in those days, it wasn't quite so easy, so they had to come up with a system to relay traffic. So traffic handling is one of the cores of our entire system. Anyway, Justin, hope everyone has a good night, and look forward to seeing everybody at Field Day. I plan on being there mid to late afternoon and running the CW station for a bit. K4LEN and N4 BBB.
It's K4LN. Yes, Scott, thanks for the good information tonight. As always, you're filled with a lot of useful information, so we greatly appreciate it. I kind of had a question as far as antennas go. Inverted L's, inverted V's, sloper, a horizontal dipole. As far as dipoles go, invis antennas, near vertical incident, or I forget what it even stands for. I know it, but I brain fart. Near vertical incident skywave. I've heard of them, and I understand the concept, but I do not understand, know how to configure your antennas for that, and which configurations are better for long range DX contacts. Anybody got any input on that one?
Talk all day on antenna design, Justin, but I don't think you want to hear me that long. Over.
I understand. Yeah, you get in antennas, you can get real deep real quick. I know that.
Well, it mainly depends on your use. If you want to talk around the central and eastern United States, any type of dipole is going to work. When you get right down to brass tacks, almost every antenna in the world is a dipole of one form or another. Even an inverted L is actually working against ground. They all work. Every one of them works. If you want to do something like a sloper, you'll get a slightly lower angle of radiation. A horizontal dipole is pretty much all around, up, down, sideways, and everything else. Most of the antennas that the military uses, since they are usually typically in a theater of battle, are NVIS, near vertical incident skywave, and they're meant to have as much signal going straight up as they do around on the ground wave. So it depends on the use, but they all work. Every single one of them works, and you don't have to really put all your eggs in any one basket. You can use any of them, and they'll all work. The inverted V is the simplest because you've got a high point in the middle, and you bring the legs down. A horizontal dipole has a typical impedance of 75 ohms. When you bring the legs down, it gets down to 50 ohms. That's why inverted Vs are so popular. Inverted L, you can do anything with those. You'll have to use an antenna tuner, but you can, as long as you make your transmitter happy, that's all that really counts. So anybody wants to discuss antenna design anymore, I'd be happy to, but don't want to tear up a bunch of net time for it. K4LE and the group N4 BBB.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, curious about it. You hear it a lot and all the different configurations. Just wasn't for sure which one was best for which. All right, anybody else got anything tonight, or do I have any more check-ins for the net?
N4 PCV, name's Joey. No wonder I couldn't get in. I was on the wrong frequency.
Hold on. Okay, N4 PCV. Joey, good evening to you.
Good evening to y'all in the net. I was listening to y'all, everybody. I just happened to be on the UHF side of the repeater. This is a dual watch radio. I do have a question and a comment.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear it.
The comment I had when y'all were talking about the VHF and distance, y'all left out the EME.
Okay, is that Earth, Moon, Earth, or thinking of something different?
You think it's the right thing, moon bound. From what I understand, that runs in about the 144 megahertz range normally that they're using. They bounce it from the Earth to the Moon and back to the Earth. And what I understand about it, they get pretty good distance.
Then for BBB, yep. And actually, since the Moon is moving, and the Earth is moving, you actually have to fire slightly ahead of the Moon, because where it's going to be in a second and a half is where your signal is going to bounce, and then that way you can go to the other side of the Earth from where you are. So it's very effective. It's called libration effect, and you get sort of a weird flutter with it, just like you do when you go through the Antarctic aurora zones as well.
Yeah, there was a question. I have a dipole that I've never used yet. It was one of the ones I got at the auction. And I just got a 50-foot, 50-ohm cable to go connect to the balun. Is there any way for me to check this antenna electronically or electrically with a digital meter outside somewhere, because I'm going to have to stretch it out, and I can't stretch it out of my house, and my analyzer, I do not have an external power supply for it for out in the field.
Don't really need an analyzer. How long is the antenna?
Question, I haven't measured it yet. It's one of the ones we used at field day before, I guess. They sold it at the auction, this last auction that we had at the picnic, and I haven't stretched it out yet. It's probably 120 feet all together, somewhere on there.
Okay, this is in for BBB. Well, 132 feet, I think, is a standard half-wave 75-80 meter antenna. Does it have does it couple directly to a feed line, or does it couple to a balun, or what?
It's got a 1-to-1 balun with 2 wires, one on each side, and then it's got the PL239 on the bottom for your coax.
BBB, well, the good antenna analyzer is going to run you $200 to $300. If you've got one and you need a power supply, that's probably pretty easy to. It's going to be probably either 5 volts, 12 volts, or 24 volts. But I would personally just suspend the thing 4 or 5 feet above the ground. That's going to lower the frequency somewhat, but just see where it seems to resonate. 132 feet is normal quarter, 2 quarter waves. That's a half wave dipole for 80 meters over.
The analyzer guy's got a plug in for it, so I can plug it into the house and check stuff there. I just don't have a way to do it outside in the field. And I said I haven't stretched this thing out yet, and I just got the cable in the other day, the coax for it. I hope 50 feet's enough because that's all I can afford right now for field day. My other antenna's kind of on top of my dad's roof right now.
For BBB, I understand. Well, you don't, for HF frequencies, you do not need to use big, expensive RG8 or 8X or anything like that. RG58 works just fine. The losses at those frequencies are negligible.
Yeah, that's what I got was a 50 foot of RG8, 58.
Just fine.
4 PKA. If you have a power inverter in your car that changes 12 volts to 110, you can run it from your car.
I have one of those. My car's broke down.
Does the battery still work?
It did the last time when I shut it down before it overheated. I mean, I don't know right now if it's a freeze plug or if it's got a cracked block. My brother was supposed to come get this thing 3 months ago and still hasn't come got it to find out. I can't crawl up underneath it. I don't have this stuff to jack it up, and my health does not allow me to climb underneath that thing.
I understand. This is 4 BBB. Well, I've got a 99 Mercury Grand Marquis parked on the back of my my lot right here. It has an overheating problem that I put 343,000 miles on before I bought another car. No, anyway, you should be able to. I would just hook it to the transceiver and see where it works. Get the wire a few feet off the ground, or hang it up, throw a rope or a line over a tree and pull up the middle of it and see if you can't get the thing to resonate. I think you'll be surprised.
If this is the one I'm thinking it is, this is the one we tried to use at field day last year, and it was my tuner on my HF rig was not. It wouldn't tune it. I think this is the one there was a problem with, and that's why I was asking if there was a way for me to kind of check it out with a digital meter.
Main thing is I just checked for continuity. A Ballon typically will show you as a dead short at DC, but it'll show open at RF. So I would just make sure you've got continuity in your coax and make sure the wires are good. You'd probably be surprised at at how it'll work. But one of my all-time greatest field day antennas I ever used, I took a piece of plexiglass and drilled a few holes through it and tied two, I think they were about 60 or 70 foot wires, just hookup wire, and fed it with 300 ohm TV twin lead to an antenna transmatch, and that thing worked all over the country from up at Tiger Hill in Murfreesboro. So you'd be surprised what will work. I would give it a shot regardless.
Yeah, about a week or so ago, when the 10 meter was open, I have a full wave horizontal loop antenna that I made inside my room right now. Just a big old square antenna, and hooked to a piece of coax, and was talking to somebody in Idaho. I forgot the name of the town in Idaho, but it's on the other side of it.
Yeah, you can just take a piece of coax and make yourself a coaxial Ballon to feed that, since that's a balanced antenna, that loop is. So all you got to do is make about 6-8 turns of coax about a foot in diameter, and feed one side of the loop with the hot side and the other side with the ground side, and that will effectively be a coaxial Ballon, so it'll make your radio very happy.
What I've got at the end of I've got the coax looped up and held together with zip ties, and then, like I said, I've got one side of the wire hooked to the shielding, and the other to the center electrode of the electrical line of the coax, and then it just runs all the way around my room.
All I can say is it works. Good job.
I appreciate all the comments and responses. I'm going to have to get off here. 73 to everyone, And good luck with the net, KN4PPV, and I'm out.
Good, nice to talk to you. Nice to meet you. This is N4 BBB clear.
Okay, Joey. Well, thanks for checking in with us tonight, and we enjoyed having you. Anybody else got anything before we close her down for the night?
K4PKA. If Dale's still on here, if he wants to send me his information, contact information to K4PKA at ARRL.net, I will get with him about helping him with those name badges.
I'm still here, and I'll do that. I've got the sealer and everything, and like I say, I can make the tags. I just don't have any way to print them out and get them laminated. I do have the machine stuff, but I can't do it the way everything's laid out. But yeah, I'll send you information, and I'll send you my phone number. Well, let me give you my phone number sometime. You just give me a call, or I'll tell you what, I'll send you information on today's WRL account, and we'll get together, okay?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that way I can have it, and I'll print it out and have it all for me. And I'm retired, so I can, do it pretty much any time.
In the meantime, I'll dig all of this out. I've got it here in a box Gerald left me, so I'll get it all dug out for you. He's got the machine and got several sheets of laminated stuff. He gets the stuff up at the office facts. I think that's where he buys all the stuff at. So it's just normal stuff you buy across the counter there. All right, I'll get with you. Thanks. Back to net K4ZDR.
All right. Anybody else got anything at all? All right. Well, nothing else heard. I'd like to thank everyone for their participation tonight. By my count, we have 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, including myself, check-ins tonight. For any information about club meetings or upcoming events, please visit our website at w4ggm.org. Please remember to check into our other weekly nets, our weekly club net held on Thursday night at 8 o'clock on this repeater. The emergency management net held every Sunday at 8:30 on this repeater. And the M-Tiers net is held every Monday night at 8 o'clock on our 443.175 machine. At this time, I'll return the W4GGM repeater back to normal use. Hope everyone has a great week. Good evening. K4LN, 7-3s, and good night, everyone, and God bless.
K4PKA. Thank you, Justin, for all you do.
K4LN. Hey, that's no problem. I'm just having fun. All right. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. Stop the stream right here. Go in here and have me some supper. Sound like kids are running wild, so go in there and get them straightened out too. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us tonight. Everybody have a good evening. God bless. Stay safe. Stay cool. We'll see you next time.